So Sony just did their most recent state of play, and by the way, sorry if I sound a little weird, I am still getting over a cold. I get sick very easily, if you can't tell. I tend to get sick very easily, and I get sick a lot during the summer and fall. So, but besides the point, Sony did the most recent state of play. I wasn't really expecting a whole lot out of this, so I didn't bother to stream it. I just kind of figured it was going to be a smaller show, get some stuff out before state of play, because, you know, I figured if they're going to have anything really big, they would have done a PlayStation showcase, and, like, that would have been where they show a lot of their big first-party games. If they're doing a state of play, I kind of lower my expectations. Some cool third-party reveals maybe, but nothing too big. And for the most part, I think that's about where this show landed. It wasn't huge, aside from one or two announcements that were genuinely like, whoa, excuse me, how the fuck did that happen? And we'll get into that in a second, but for the most part, it was a very like low-key show. It was a show of like, hey, here's just some cool games announced, but nothing really that's gonna like blow your mind. So yeah, going into this, not expecting much, kind of wasn't thinking about it, especially to prepping for the Switch 2 launch tonight. This was kind of at the back of my mind, but you know what? After seeing this show, I'll admit there were some pleasant surprises. There were some games in there that I was excited that I am excited to play, and that I was happy to get some updates on or find out exist. So not too much preamble, let's just get into it. I'm not going to go over everything, just kind of what interested me. One, we finally got a look at Pragmata. Again, Capcom's weird action, third-person shooter, sci-fi sort of genre mashup. It looks good, it looks fun. I don't really know what took this game fucking 4 or 5 years in development. Well, yes, I do. That's just AAA game development now, and to be fair, it does look very pretty. But in terms of gameplay, I don't really see a lot to get super duper hyped by. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun. It is a Capcom game, but looking at this, I'm kind of like, did this really need to be like a massive AAA project? This looks like it's just gonna be like a cool AA action game, honestly. But for what it's worth, I think it does look cool. I'm looking forward to finally trying it after all this time. But even looking at the gameplay that we're seeing now, it feels very flashy, very kind of style over substance, more so than anything that looks kind of unique or interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna get some shit for this, but this game just kind of looks alright to me. It's Capcom. I'm sure it'll be high quality. I'm sure it'll be fun to play in the moment. I don't know if this is gonna take off for me. I don't know if this is gonna be something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. Just from what I'm seeing right now, it looks very okay. But hey, it's coming next year, so we're finally gonna get to try it soon. It just says 2026, so don't know if that's gonna be early in the year. Don't know if that's gonna be later in the year. Who knows? But fingers crossed, it at least comes soon. We can try it and we can finally dig into this after all this waiting. After that, there was Suda51's next game. Romeo is a dead man. You play as a guy who was eaten by a zombie and gets revived as like a weird cyborg to go beat the shit out of monsters, and your grandpa's like a sentient patch on the back of your jacket. And I'm like, yeah, this is Suda51. This is just his bizarre sensibilities coming forth into like another kick-ass action game. And like this looks slick, this looks style. Like, if Pragmata is style over substance, Suda51 is like style taken to such an excess that it becomes a substance in and of itself. Like, it is insanely cool looking, while still appearing to have some really just like snappy character action, just rapid combat in a way that just looks like it could be just super addicted to perfect this, to go back through and just see how much better you can get at it. Like, this is like a small snippet so far, but this game has already got me curious. And plus too, we see hints of little like what would appear to be mini games, what appear to be little side activities you can do in the game, which Suda loves to throw in there. If you've ever played the first No More Heroes, you know he loves his little side games, he loves his little extra activities. So that looks interesting. Trying to see what else there is. Silent Hill F looks good, looks about in line what Konami's been doing with these new Silent Hills. You know, these new Silent Hills, between the Bloober Team Silent Hill 2 remake, which I thought was gonna be just awful and turned out alright, and what was it? Not Silent Hill F, that's this game. That's the game they're showing off now. What was the one they had? Silent Hill The Short Message. That one was, you know, not perfect, but it was ultimately an okay spooky time. Silent Hill F looks to be continuing that of like, yeah, these Silent Hills aren't going to be masterpieces on the level of 2 or 3, but they look like they're going to be solid horror experiences. I am a little worried about the focus on combat. We see the main character smacking a lot of shit with pipes, and we even see her carrying appearing at Naginata at one point. I hope they don't make Silent Hill an action game. Like, part of it is supposed to be like, you're underpowered, you're afraid, you don't really want to get into combat because you're probably gonna fucking die. So I hope that if there is going to be combat in this game, it's something you're gonna want to kind of avoid, or at the very least, if you are gonna partake in combat, you have to be very careful. And it's not just something like, hey, go mash this stick and dodge out of the way of the monster. It's like, no, you really gotta watch your step when fighting these monsters. But other than that, it looks good. Set in like this old Japanese town, which I'm like, I like the idea that Silent Hill can just kind of manifest everywhere or be everywhere. Like, it doesn't have to be this one area that people are drawn to. It can draw itself to potential victims and like kind of morph and change itself to fit wherever it needs to fit to get someone. That makes it feel a lot scarier, and that makes it feel a lot more just ever present and inescapable. And I think that really works for the horror. So while I'm hesitant to get my hopes up too much with Konami, because there is still a very good chance that they fuck this up because they're Konami, I am open to this being good. This looks promising. So fingers crossed that this actually turns out all right. And I'm cautiously optimistic for Silent Hill F, which I think is about all you can be for any Konami project nowadays. But still, it's good to know that we're just not completely into just, oh, this looks terrible, which is honestly kind of what I expected out of Konami these days. But what else? There's that Digimon game that they showed last time, the like Time Eater game. Again, I'm not a huge Digimon person. I didn't grow up with Digimon, so I don't have much to say on this, but it looks okay. It looks cute for what it is. But after that, ooh boy, we got a new Bloodstained. We got basically I don't know if they would call this a Bloodstained 2 or technically a Bloodstained like 4, because there's the 2 Curse of the Moon games. But yeah, Bloodstained 2, Koji Igarashi is continuing with his Castlevania spiritual successor series, and it looks visually gorgeous. It looks like Castlevania. It looks like 2D Castlevania if it had continued into the modern day, and if Iga had just never gotten fucked over by Konami. And I have to admit, it looks excellent. I played Symphony of the Night, Ritual of the Night. I thought it was a good first attempt. You could definitely tell he was working on a limited budget. It was a very good game, and it had potential to grow into something greater, and it had potential to grow into something as great as Castlevania. And it looks like this game is building on that potential to truly make like the next great Metroidvania title, the next great like entry into the Castlevania spiritual successor series. And so I'm really excited for that. Part of me is still hoping Konami has an official Castlevania in the works, but if they don't, I'm more than happy to take Koji Igarashi's kind of fill that hole in my heart with Igarashi's work on Bloodstained. But yeah, that's Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement. It just has a wish list now, so it's probably way too far off. And I'm just like, no, give it to me now. But, you know, take all the time you need, make sure it's ready, but like, I want it so badly. But after that came Final Fantasy Tactics. I've never actually played the original Final Fantasy Tactics. This has always been kind of a blind spot for me with Final Fantasy. So I'm looking forward to trying this. That's coming out September 30th, so not too far away. And they have kind of the best of both worlds here, where you have the original translation, the original graphics that you can just experience if you just want that original game. But you also have a new translation, updated graphics, and like seemingly an easier difficulty, along with like further story elements, like new story elements to kind of further flesh out what's already there if you played the original and want more context. So either way, no matter what you want, you are kind of getting it with this one. And again, I haven't played the original, so I can't say how faithful it is, but even just like including that original dub along with an entirely new translation, I think it's a really great just best of both world options for longtime fans. So that looks good. Hot Shot Golf, I thought this already came out. Is this a new one? I'm genuinely not sure. This one surprised me because I thought this was already out. But that's coming September 5th, and you can play as Pac-Man. Cute, I guess. A little more Ninja Gaiden Raidbound. Nothing we really haven't seen before, but this game still looks excellent. The kind of 2D retro revival arts, the style of game, is one that has the potential to just be like an absolute slam dunk. And it seems like Koei Tecmo is making sure this is like knocked out of the fucking park. And it's the Blasphemous devs that they hired to do this. So, you know, it really should be, you know, just an easy easy win, and it looks like that's exactly what this is. So looking forward to Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. That's coming out July 31st, so not too far away. I wonder when that new, I had to look up when that new Shinobi Art of Vengeance is coming out, because I think I really want to do like a double feature of Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi. And then PlayStation's also making a fight stick, which, alright, cool. I've been looking to get into getting like a fighting games a little more, and I want to get a fighting stick. I don't know if I'll get this over like an 8-bit dough, but hey, it looks cool. What else was there that's interesting me? There was some new Metal Gear Solid 3. There's some new Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, there's a new Metal Gear Solid Delta. I keep wanting to call it Metal Gear Solid 3, but it's Delta. New MGS Delta gameplay footage. Looks like a pretty faithful remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. This looks like just if you played MGS 3 in the style of MGS 5, so looks good. Not much to say there. Same with Neo 3, just kind of looks like more Neo, but the new ninja style looks fun and having like an open area to explore, I'm sure it'll be enjoyable. James Bond looks very Uncharted-y, more so than I expected from because this is I believe Eidos. This is the same people who did the Hitman games. I was expecting something a little slower, a little more methodical, but no, this is leaning way into like the action movies, which I think is an interesting take, but it almost feels more Mission Impossible than Bond. But hey, I'm curious to try that out. But like the big one, the one I really want to talk about, the one that absolutely fucking just floored me, that I was genuinely shocked by, Marvel Tokon, a new 4v4 fighting game from Arc Systems Work, not Capcom. This isn't a new Marvel vs. Capcom, but it basically is an everything but spirit. And I'm like, holy shit, how did this happen? Like, it genuinely surprises me that a new Marvel fighting game that looks like this, that plays like this, came out of any other studio but Capcom. But I mean, I guess if it was gonna be anybody else, it would be Arc Systems Work. They keep wanting to say Arcs, even though it's Arc. Arc Systems Work. Arc Systems Work. Art. I guess it would be Art, because yeah, we know they can do the versus Capcom fighting style. They did it with Dragon Ball FighterZ with the 3v3. But here, they're not even doing 3v3. They said, fuck it, let's do 4v4. And apparently Sony approached Arc to do this. And I have to wonder, what does that mean? How did this happen? And like, did they ever approach Capcom for this? Was this originally going to be a Marvel vs. Capcom? Did they just decide it wasn't going to work and like didn't even bother? Like, I'm like so curious how this game even happened. Like, genuinely, I just want to know, like, and not in a bad way, in like a good way actually, because I'm really excited. I'm just like, how? This is insane. But no, it's a 4v4 fighting game. All the characters are kind of redesigned to have like an anime aesthetic. So Iron Man got a whole lot of Gundam in him now with that faceplate and the little spike. Kamala Khan is just a straight up anime girl. Spider-Man looks, you know, he looks like Spider-Man, but he looks almost like kind of My Hero-ish. I don't know, something about his new design gives me like My Hero vibes that I can't quite place. Like, it is just a straight up Arc Systems Work Marvel fighting game in the style of MVC, and it looks fantastic already. It has that pace down, it has the visuals down, it has fighting down. It like, just from the small snippet we've seen, this looks like more of an MVC4 than Infinite could have ever been, and that is just insane to me. And maybe that's why, maybe just that taste of Infinite, even like 8 years later, is just still stuck in Disney's mouth, you know? Like, they still remember how poorly things went with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, that they're like, no, we want to try something new. We want to try a different fighting game company for our next big title. But no, this looks fantastic. This already looks genuinely interesting. And so I am keeping an eye on this just to see like what the story behind this is, because I'm looking at this now and I can feel it in my heart. There is something interesting behind the scenes of this, more so than just Disney wanted a fighting game and decided to go to Arc instead of Capcom. Like, there's something there, and I'm really curious to find out what it is. But that was like the genuine pop off for me was Marvel Tokon, because not only is this game gonna be fun to play, if Arc and Disney play their cards right, this will fucking take over the competitive scene. Like, people are still playing Marvel 3 and Marvel 2 years, decades after the fact at professional tournament, and if they play their cards right, this could easily end up being another Marvel 3 where people just come back to it over and over and over again for years and years and years. But yeah, that was the one that really got me. That was the one that was really got me both excited and fascinated to see where that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video, nothing too fancy. Again, sorry if it's kind of bare bones, but I am sick. I am working on other videos and I am getting ready for Switch 2 coverage. So just want to get this out there. Overall, not a bad showcase, not a bad state of play. Again, outside of Marvel Tokon, there was nothing like super hugely exciting. Bloodstained was exciting for me as a Castlevania fan, but honestly, that was about it. Everything else was just kind of either something I expected to see, something that was cool, but wasn't exactly like mind-blowing, or just kind of like not for me. But hey, what did you think of this show? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to crank up the noise. I need to go take more medicine.